Hey, welcome back, everybody. Back at it with another video for you guys. And this is piggybacking off the latest video we just dropped, which is blue collar versus. So, non union versus union. So, if you watched the first video, I'll leave a link in the description down below for that one. Go check that one out before you watch this one. Or vice versa, I guess. You can watch this one, then go back to that one. This one's going to touch base on union. This will be a little bit more. Um, it's going to be just like the other one. Pros and cons. I'll keep it simple and easy. I might have a little bit more information to share about it because I've been doing it for the last 10 years. In non-union, I did a lot, but it's been a while since I've been out of there, so it's not hard to correlate, but I can remember a lot of things from that time too, which I talked about in that previous video. So let's get right into it. So welcome back. This is the first time to the channel. You found DDG Nation, Dirty Dirt Garage. If you like construction, talking about it, learning things, doing ride-alongs in certain machines when we can do it safely, just advice on getting into the blue-collar trades. This might be a channel for you, so consider subscribing and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos popping up. And I do read the comments. I read as much as I can, and I get back to a lot of them, and that's where I get some of my more long form video content from you guys. You guys sharing questions with me to get out information for you guys. And what we do here on this channel too is we usually get these videos posted and put out for you, 15-minute videos. I know the attention span is like the size of a gnat lately, 30-second videos. That's all we can get. But I'm old school. I'm trying to put out some knowledge. If you stay for the whole video, you already know that. And we do live streams. We let them marinate. I keep them in the marination box for about a day or so, and then we hit a live stream so we can interact together, subscribers, and we do find new people. So welcome to the channel. So we're going to touch base on union benefits, pros and cons of being in a union. We will start with the cons and we'll finish with the good stuff. So being a union worker, some cons. So for instance, if you're coming into this trade right out of school, high school, I should say, or maybe you didn't do college, maybe you did 1 year. It's very hard. It's very hard to get into the union as no experience at all. It's extremely hard. Most unions offer a schooling, which is a 4 year program. It's called the apprenticeship program. My union does every once a year. I think it's in November. They take in applicants, and it's just like applying to a job. You might not get in that first time you apply. That might be a negative aspect why some people don't want to join the union because they may not know the right avenues to go into. And if they do get in to the apprenticeship, you're not going to be making the money that you would be making by the time you graduate. So you got to take that into consideration. If you're an older fella or female for that matter, think long and hard before you make the jump from non-union to union, because if you have the thought process of just going into a company or getting with a company to get you in union, that might be the avenue. But if you're willing to take the pay cut and go through the apprenticeship program, that might not be for you because the pay scale is much different. That's just part of the deal. Another negative aspect of union. Some people look at it as negative. Me personally, I do not, but I will touch base on it. I've had multiple comments. I've actually made a video on this comment that I'm of this video, the subject I'm going to talk about right now. Multiple comments, and I've had people come to me in real life and talk about this. Union dues. Is it a negative aspect? A lot of people that don't know about it think it's a negative aspect, that they think that they have to pay to come to work. Reality of the story is not, but most people think it's a negative aspect. I don't think it's negative, but I will tell you what the people think it's negative, that they have to pay to go to work. I will tell you that's not the case. A lot of people are misinformed about the union dues. Union dues protect you as a worker. So say back when I was talking about the non-union aspect of job hopping, looking for that dollar an hour raise. Well, you don't have to look for that dollar an hour raise in union aspects, but paying dues protects you from that aspect. You can get laid off from a job and go work another company and don't have to worry about the pay scale. The pay scale is set at a certain rate for that calendar month, and that will increase eventually. I will talk about that in the pros. So, negative aspects. A lot of people think paying dues is a negative aspect. Me personally, I do not. So I will say that people are misinformed when it comes to paying dues. It's not negative. One thing that I might find on a personal basis. Now, this is a necessary evil in union to non-union, and this is correlates even into privatized work compared to what I'm in now. There is going to be a certain group of people that are going to be getting the paid same amount of money. Is it negative? Some days it might strike me differently than other days, but I know it's a necessary evil, and it is the same way in privatized work. You're going to have somebody that doesn't know as much as you do, doesn't have the same knowledge or skill sets, doesn't have the same experience, getting paid the same amount of money you are getting paid. Now, that is just a part of the course. You have to get over that and build a relationship in a different way to get over that hump of knowing that the fact that there might be somebody not the same skill set as you getting paid the same amount of money. That's just part of life. I'm not saying be above and beyond for the next characteristic of getting or the next no, having that characteristic of being the better worker. Not necessarily saying it puts more on your plate, but they might lean on you more. They might give you a benefit of a leg up if things get slow. They might keep you. Even if you have not the greatest attitude in the world, if you can perform better, you might outlast that guy that might not have the experience. But experience comes with time, so you got to remember that. That might be a negative outlook with some guys, even that are in the union, that I've heard through conversations at the Connex box, or just talking in general about so and so John Smith doesn't know what he's doing and he's making the same money I am. Yeah, maybe that might bother me some days. Like, man, look at me, I'm doing this, that. Why can't that guy do it? But in reality, that's just part of life. And that worker that's trying to cut his teeth and be better, that's what you got to keep in mind when you get to that. But that might get you sometimes. So there's two. One more negative aspect that I can think about that might be personal to me is, let me think about this for a minute. One thing that even I'm dealing with now, but it's part of the game, is traveling. I didn't touch on this on the privatized non-union companies, but you'll do the same thing for them too. But reality, I know I might be biased, and yes, I do sound biased. I can't think of a lot of negative aspects. It's going to be one-sided on this video. I know I'm very biased when it comes to this, but maybe a third aspect of maybe a negative outlook is traveling. You got to travel, but you're going to travel non-union too. So right now I'm traveling over an hour and a half to work. It's part of the game. There's no trees on the leaves where I am right now, and you got to do what you got to do to keep going, right? And it's the same in non-union as well. But that might be a negative aspect. If you work in your town and you work at a company that delivers pizzas, or not even deliver pizzas. Let's take that as if you work at a restaurant and you're a cook. You're going to go to the same restaurant every night. You know exactly where to go, where to stop to get your coffee, where you're going to go and how long it's going to take you there, and yada, yada, yada. When it comes to this industry as a whole, which I'm going to call it negative in my aspect, maybe on both sides of the coin, is the travel time. You might work close to home. You might work 2 hours from home. And that's just part of the deal. And if you can't deal with that, this is not the career for you. Traveling is part of it. Parking, traveling, public transportation, pay for parking garages. There is a negative aspect to that, and I will chalk that up to union. Maybe a negative aspect on a union, because most union work is built in big cities. Chicago, New York, Boston, Tampa. You got big cities, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Chicago, that area. You're talking inner city workings where public transportation is a key. There's no pay for parking. There's always pay for parking, I'm saying. There's no free parking out there. Parking, right? Yeah, just the tolls, highways. You got to travel. That's just part of the deal. So that is one negative aspect. But I guess that can be on both sides of the coin. But I'll just chalk it to that because, again, like I said, it might be a little biased. So let's get into the pros. So pros of being union. I could probably talk quite a bit on pros. I'm going to give you 3, to be fair. 3 good, 3 bad, or whatever. 3 indifferent, 3 good, 3 enjoyable, whatever you want to call it. So 3 benefits or positives to being in the union. You, as a union worker, are protected. I don't care what anyone says across the board. You have a certain form of protection when it comes to work, workplace etiquette. And I can wrap that up into a ball as etiquette, whether it be safety, job security, job allowance, whatever. Just wrap it up into a big ball. You have protection against safety protocols, work and conditions. The pay scale is already built into the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. I've talked about that in other videos. Maybe I can talk about that in a long form video, but you have protection in a union. You can make a phone call to your business agents if you have a good rapport with them. And I will tell you I've said this before in videos, what you put into, whether it's non-union or union, what you put into the company or the job or the union you're working with is what you get out of it. That's a huge thing, and I'll reiterate multiple times throughout doing these videos, is what you put into a company or a union is what you get out of it. It's very simple, so you're protected. Number two, without cutting the video and chopping it up too much, pay scale. So there's a touchy subject with non-union, union, and rated people that do rated work. If it wasn't for the unions, you wouldn't have the Davis-Bacon pay, which was under attack a couple of years ago by the administration. Again, I don't talk about politics, but that was a fact. It was under attack, and that would have affected union and non-union guys. So some of those non-union guys might not know that, but rated work, when you work on the street for a state project, is put in place because of unions. So if it wasn't for the union, you wouldn't have the Davis-Bacon Act. I don't know the lingo behind that, but I know it's based on rated work. I can look up some facts on Google, and we can go through that another time. But pay scale in union, it is all public. You can go on any union website, plumbers, carpenters, ironworkers, pilot, you name it. Go right down the gamut of any union type of contractor. It is all public knowledge, and you can find out the pay scale. We are one of, if not the most highest paying trades in the country. Operators are high, but union work as a whole, iron workers are very, very up there. Pile drivers are up there. They're even above operators. There's some other trades, but I'm not going to go compare and contrast between trades, but just as a whole, union workers get paid more annually being in a union. And that correlates right down to the non-union guys with that, like I said, that rated work. The guys that do the open road construction, gas line, water line, soil work, all gas work is usually rated work. But a lot of road work that doesn't happen to go union and is privatized all get rated pay work, which is, you can thank it right up to the union guys. So pay scale, we have a cost of living. I call it a cost of living. There's other ways of calling it. It is a based-in scale. Every 6 months we get a raise. Non-union does not get that. Non-union, you can go years without seeing a pay increase, and that's just the way it flies. Union, when it's put into the collective bargaining agreement, depending on how we do our contract with these big people that bid us, that is included in our pay scale. That is included in the collective bargaining agreement. We get a pay raise every 6 months. Every 6 months, but it fluctuates because some will go to health and welfare, some will go to some other things like the school, the apprentice program that I touched on earlier in this video. It has to pay. Money has to come from somewhere, and that's us collectively as union members have to pay those dues, and that's a union due. I've done a video on that too. Go back in the playlist, check that out. But pay scale is tremendously different compared to non-union. So that's two. So we have protection and pay. Another positive aspect of the union is the benefits. And I've made a video on benefits. You can go check that out, but I will chalk that up into the third one on union. The benefits that you get from being in a union is probably, it is. I'm gonna just come out and say it has to be the best in the country if you go into a union atmosphere to get benefits. Even a non-union business owner would struggle to say that that's not the case, because non-union workers, especially the business owner, and like I said, I commend them in the last video. I left on a very positive note on non-union business owners and workers in general. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of overhead. You know, I couldn't fathom some of the things that they have, the stress they have to deal with whether it be paying their employees, making payroll, making sure money's flowing in and out of the account, bidding jobs, pulling permits, getting relationships with different towns so you can work in those towns a little bit easier than others. There's so much. I know a very, very small amount of it, and maybe I can collaborate with a business owner one day on this, and he can elaborate a little bit better. I have multiple people that may be able to come on YouTube and talk about it, but the benefits for a union worker is astounding. Between health, dental, vision, retirement, there's literally two forms of retirement, and one of them, a pension, is almost non-existent in this country. I just watched a video on an older man talking about the newer generation coming up to work, and he basically said the younger generation don't want to work these deadbeat jobs for deadbeat money, basically. And it's a fact. Nobody wants to do it, and that's why, like, non-union companies, and I know a bunch of them, and I know the owners, they have to pay a certain amount to keep those guys just so they can live okay, you know? It's tough. It's not easy. I wouldn't want that job, being a business owner, especially in today's market where it's so saturated and you have to like stand out from the next guy. Once you build a rapport with certain contractors and builders, you're pretty much okay. But it takes a while to get there. You have to build your rapport with these people, working with towns, working with governors, working with mayors, working with all sorts of different trades, you know. The union takes that all out of it, and you don't have to worry about that. That's behind the scenes stuff. You just show up to work and do your job. Some guys want more out of that, and the union might not be for them, and I respect that too. But the benefits, the pension and annuity, are two big things of why a lot of guys stay union. I've had moments in my life where I wanted to go work for myself. Again, I surround myself with people like-minded or even better than me, and learn from them and ask them questions and pick their brain and learn about things and watch people grow through social media with their companies, and it's very intriguing to see that. But then I get sat back down and say, wait a minute, hold on, Dan. You can benefit from doing what you're doing here. Think about the long-term goals that you're trying to set for yourself. And the biggest thing is setting up myself to retirement. Yeah, is there no guarantee I'm going to make it to retirement? There's no guarantee that anyone is going to make it that far in life. It's the older you get, the more you realize that creeps up in life, that you might not make it, but you hope to make it, right? That's the key in life. But the benefits that the union gives you for that chance and that opportunity to retire comfortably is why I made the jump for the health insurance for my family. Even if you're a single guy, just to have health insurance, it's a lot of money to pay out of pocket. If you're a business owner, you can pay upwards of $2,800 to $3,000 a month just to have health insurance, not dental. You want to go clean your teeth, that's a whole nother separate insurance policy. But again, the benefits to being in a union is very, very key. Again, I could talk a lot about a lot of pros. I don't want to make this one side lopsided, but leave a comment in this video down below about some of the benefits that you've had through the union, and maybe some of your gripes, because listen, not everything's perfect. I feel as though there's a silver lining to everything, and you know, this is my life, and I like to share some of it with you, and you know, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you have experienced with that. So yeah. Until next time, guys, subscribe, obviously, if you like this type of content, construction, talking about it. Like I said, because we usually post these videos up, we let them marinate, and then we do a live stream so we can interconnect through the internet and through the live stream, which is fun. And hit the bell so you don't miss those live streams and the latest video, obviously, if you're into this stuff. And I do read the comments, because the comments are what drives the channel to make the content that you guys want to see. So until next time, guys, stay dirty.